Hi guys, alright, today we are looking at this. So I've got a couple things I'm going to show you. So this is the lesson that we're going to be working on, and this is working with map scale. And so you kind of started to do it on Tuesday, and this is what I'm going to go over with you. I'm going to do half of them with you, using the map from Tuesday as well. And I'm going to show you how to put that together. So you're going to need to take it out of your packet, because actually I don't need this when you turn in your packet, unless you colored all of the states, which got you extra credit. So you need both of these. And so you can see how there's dotted lines here. You can pick one side or the other. There's dotted lines here. And so what you're going to do to be able to do this correctly, you're going to need to fold on that dotted line. And so it will end up looking like this. And then you're going to actually tape it to the other one so they match up perfectly, because they split the map right in half so it would fit on two pieces of paper. So I'm going to, you can glue it, you can staple it, but you really got to make sure those border lines match up perfectly. And with tape, it's going to end up looking like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we're estimating the distance. So even though something may be a little less than 1 inch or a little more than 1 inch, we're still going to estimate it to be 400 miles. So down here at the bottom is our map scale. And that's what we're working with. So 1 inch equals 400 miles. So that means a half inch would be half of 400, which would be 200 miles. So 2 inches would therefore be 400 times 2, which is 800 miles. 3 inches would be 3 times 400, which would be 1,200 miles, and so on. So what we're first going to measure is, on here, the first cities that are listed are Sacramento, California, and Carson City, Nevada. And that is on the West Coast. So I'm going to show you here on this half. And we've got California right here. And then we've got Nevada right next to it. So I'm going to measure the distance between the two. This is really going to test my ability to work sideways and hold something and measure something. This is really a lot of things all at the same time. So I've got my regular ruler from school, 1 inch equaling 400 miles. If I measured the distance from Sacramento, California to Carson City, Nevada, go ahead and do that. And if you're looking at the same thing that I am, and measure just about over a half inch, just under 1 inch. So every quarter inch is going to be 100 miles. So on this, in an estimation, 3/4, looks like well ruined. My orange marker is very blurry. See, he likes to push on them hard. It's going to be 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch, if 4 equals the 400, this is going to be 300 miles. All right, next one is Des Moines, Iowa, and Madison, Wisconsin. So I'm going to flip it over, because Des Moines, Iowa is to the east of the Mississippi River. And then I've got Madison, Wisconsin. So Madison to Des Moines, I'm looking at about an inch. Again, I'm estimating here. So if that's about 1 inch on your chart, 1 inch is equal to 400 miles. All right, let's do 3 more of them. So now I've got Cheyenne, Wyoming, right here, to Denver, Colorado, and that is on the western part of the United States. So here we are, Cheyenne, Wyoming, Denver, Colorado, and that is really, really close. We're looking at about a 1/2 inch for that. So if 1 inch equals 400 miles, half of 400 is going to be 200 miles. Okay, next one is Boise, Idaho to Helena, Montana. And that's on the western part of the United States again. We've got Boise, Idaho, Helena, Montana. And we're looking at about 1 1¼ inches. So if 1/4 of an inch equals 100 miles, and we have 1 inch is 400 miles, 400 plus 100 equals, here we go, we have 1 and 1/4, and that would be 500 miles. Okay, next one is Nashville, Tennessee to Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm going to have to flip my map over because that's on the eastern part of the United States. So here I've got Nashville, Tennessee, right here. And I'm going to Atlanta, Georgia, right there. And if I measure the distance between the two using the inches, and just because it starts with Nashville doesn't mean I can't start my ruler with Atlanta. It's going to be the same distance estimating wise. And we're looking at about 1 inch. So if we have 1 inch for this one, one inch is equal to 400 miles. Okay? All right. So I am going to go on, so you can skip these. We keep going in class, but usually it doesn't take this many. You can do more and get extra credit if you do more of them. But I'm going to have you look at 127A. And the lesson that this goes with, or the number that this goes with, is right here, number 3. It says, use the scale to estimate the distance. So if you look at this one, the scale is different, and scale is different on every map depending on the map size and what it's a map of. If you have a full United States map on one piece of paper versus a full world map on one piece of paper, the scale is going to be different. So the scale on this is 1 inch equals 200 miles, and you see it right down here. So if we look at that, Augusta to Concord, and then there's Harrisburg, it wants to know the distance of Augusta to Concord. So Augusta to Concord is just those two little dots right there. So if I measure that, Augusta to Concord is only a 1/2 inch. So if 1 inch is 200 miles, a 1/2 inch would be 100 miles. An abbreviation for miles is MI, period. And then the other one is Concord to Harrisburg. So Concord to Harrisburg is going to be about 2 inches. So if it's 2 inches and 1 inch is 200 miles, 2 times 200 would be 400 miles. Okay, and then let's flip it over and do the B-side one. The B-side one is using the scale to estimate distance. Hartford, Dover, and Richmond. Again, this one is 1 inch equals 200 miles. And it first wants to know Hartford to Dover. Hartford to Dover. Oops. Is just about 2 inches. So if 1 inch is 200 miles, 2 inches would be 400 miles. MI being the abbreviation for that. And then the other one is Dover to Richmond. And Dover to Richmond is just about 1. Oh, there we go. Just about 1 inch. And 1 inch is equal to 200 miles. So we can put 200 MI on that. Okay? All right, send me a message if you guys have any questions. Have a good Thursday.